All right, so all right, so we're back. It's Saturday morning. I won't even point the camera at me because I haven't showered, shaved. I'm stinky and nasty. But here's what's going on. We're having some issues getting these things. Hang on, let me just pull this down. We're having some issues getting these things to line up. And the problem is that this fiberglass cage continues to stand very proud of the doors, and the cage has to be under the doors. So it's sort of a process, and you can see what we've done this morning. Actually, the first tick would have been about there. I didn't even mark the first tick. Then we moved it, then we moved it, then we moved it, and at this point we'll actually move that tick mark again. And so what's happening is it is door fit 101. It's tough when you start with something that has almost no reference points like this and just try and create a car out of it.
Absolutely.
So what's going on here? Hey, good morning, guys. Hey, Gary. So what's going on here is the fact that we're starting with a car that had a chopped up front, a chopped up top, a replacement door, a replacement cage, rear shell. So our challenge is that we have virtually no reference points to go by, and we're having to sort of create every single reference point. And in any project, what you really want, it's like solving, a complex, algorithm or an algebra problem. You have to start with some knowns, and then you slowly, everything is wrong. And so like Davey, he was right now working on a door, because where's our, is this the original door we tried, Davey?
This one,
no.
No? No.
You see, Davey's a man of so many words, it's hard to shut this guy up. Okay, so that's Davey. So this is our original door. This was the original door that was basically in an accident, and what we're trying to do at this point is salvage chunks of that door, and we're going to put that door together with, hang on, wait for it, this door, because we're missing the plates, the actual nut plates on the bottom here. You see, what you should be seeing is something that looks more like that. And we're missing those nut plates. So we've got to create the nut plates, and that's what Davey's working on. So you have to understand what we're really doing here is to call this a hodgepodge would be an understatement. There's the original doors that sort of actually fit the car. So at the point we started, we were using, all right, let me show you all the glass from this car that we're saving. The 63 front fender inserts and the 63 rocker panels and portions of the B-pillar. That's it. Every other piece of fiberglass from this car is being replaced, and unfortunately what that means is it's I don't know, it's a little bit like trying to build a puzzle without any pictures, lots of wrong pieces, and you don't really know what the final's going to be. So, all right, I'm just going to say hi, Mike. Is it Fabiano, Stefan? Guys, stay tuned. We'll actually do about 5 of these through the day. Each little milestone we make, we'll come back and say hi to you guys. So if you got nothing to do and you want to stay tuned, we'll be back in about an hour or two. Right now our challenge is bringing this piece down that way another roughly ½ inch. So you guys stay tuned, and we'll see you in a little bit. All right, so here we are. Go ahead and close the door. You can see now we've moved up another couple of tick marks. So we're, from the perspective of the height of this, we're now almost there, but we've got a new problem. It's the banana. See how it's far away here, then it touches here, then it gets far away here. So the problem is this entire structured member was molded too far this way, and just this point of it right here needs to move that way. And this is a piece of solid core fiberglass. It's actually fairly strong, and if we go cut it, what happens to all that beautiful strength?
Not there anymore.
Yeah. So right now we've solved most of our height problem, but we're not even close to solving our body gap. So effectively we fixed the reveal issue. We just have a real gap issue. And unfortunately, you got to have both, right? What happens if you don't have both at the same time?
It's off. Your shields won't fit, the door won't fit.
Yeah.
I mean, everything.
So basically, and I'm going to let you, look, I didn't shower, I don't care. The problem we've got is that fiberglass, unlike steel, doesn't bend. So the only way you can move fiberglass is to cut it. And unfortunately, in this case, to cut this fiberglass means to significantly weaken its basic integrity, because this piece of fiberglass we're talking about is a solid inch thick. So normally fiberglass is 1/8 or 1/16 of an inch thick. So when we're talking about a piece of fiberglass that's on an order of magnitude 10 times that thickness, once you cut it, you never get your strength back. So that's just the dilemma that we're going to face, because we got all this to line up here, but now we need to get this to line up and give us the correct gap. And Heath, why won't we cut the door?
Excuse me?
Why won't you cut the door? Why are you going to cut the bird cage to fit the door?
Because the door is correct and the bird cage isn't.
Yeah, so the rule is 2 wrongs never make a right. And that's something that I see all the time in body work, is people will cut the wrong thing. Hey, Mike Dixon, hang on, where are you guys from? From South Mississippi? Absolutely, yeah, glad to be with you guys today. So our challenge is you cannot cut the wrong thing. It would actually be quite easy. I mean, we could do that in about 1 minute, couldn't we? We could trim up the door and it would fit this opening. But then we'd have the next problem, and that is the gutter down here would not line up, and basically we would then be making a car that's the wrong shape. And God forbid, if anything happened with the car later on and someone had to change out a door, they'd say, what the hell is going on here? So the idea is to try and build a car not just for a one-time build where everything is specific to the car. You ideally want to build a car the right way the first time, and right now our problem has moved from here, which we think we've basically solved it, and it's moved to here. And I'll be honest, I'm going to ask Keith how to fix it, because I got no freaking clue. What do you think, Keith? You know how to fix this?
Trying to reshape that bird cage.
Yeah, but how?
I haven't got there yet.
Yeah, okay, hang on. We're going to check in on Davey, he's making a lot of noise over here. So, how's it going, Davey?
It's all right. Let me get free this.
Okay, so he's cutting this door apart, and needs to, because he's trying. Hang on, let me shine the light up in there. See that plate right back in there? That plate is the thing we're trying to get to. Only, if possible, I would love to save the capture portion of it. So, you going to be able to get this thing done, Davey?
Yeah.
Okay. He is a man of just many words, as you can see. Okay, guy, it's hard to get him to shut up. All right, so back to work. All right, Elizabeth, hang on. Elizabeth, good morning from Rocky Mount, North Carolina. Hey, nice to have you drop in, Elizabeth. We're just arm wrestling some fiberglass, and I got to tell you, the fiberglass gets into everything. It gets into the pores of your skin, and it's kind of a mess. Did you wipe baby powder all over yourself this morning?
Not today. I ran out.
You forgot.
Yeah.
Oh, you ran out.
I ran out. Yep.
You know they have it at the store like a quarter mile from here, right?
I would have been late if I would have stopped and get some. So.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna continue to itch and try and figure this next piece out. So, guys, we're gonna yeah. Thank you, Elizabeth. Appreciate it. We're gonna go ahead and keep driving on, and we'll let you know if we resolve this problem. Because here's the bad news. We got a big old ugly opening on the other side we haven't even started on. All right, so we're back. And at this point, we've pretty much solved the gap issue. You can see the gap runs fairly consistent. Now it gets wider here, but it's much easier to deal with, in this case, a gap that gets wider than a gap that was too narrow. What I did not want to do is cut any of this fiberglass structure. But we just noticed an interesting new problem. On a 1963 and 1964 Corvette door, they both have these prominences. That a 65, 6, and 7 door doesn't have those prominences. But we just noticed something different. I've been trying to figure out why this door isn't quite fitting the same, and I think we figured it out, didn't we?
I think so.
Okay, now David's been making noise for about the last hour, so we'll catch up with him in a minute. He's been trying to save some plates. Okay, and he did. So we'll be back with Davey in just a minute. All right, so here's the issue that we just discovered. Prominences for the door handle, but they didn't have any fiberglass filler along the A-pillar line. Unfortunately, the door that we got to build the car with, which, you know, everybody calls them a 63, 64 door, we now realize they're actually quite different. You can see this door here, and that's the line I just marked. This door has to have this section of fiberglass cut, but you have to be very, very careful because the fiberglass is bonded onto this piece of steel right here. So we've got to cut the fiberglass, not the steel, and then we'll finish both edges of the fiberglass so that it actually looks like a correct 63 door. So my point in bringing you along on this is just to show you that rarely, you know, everybody loves to think that, you know, when a TV show gets done in 1 hour and you build a car in an hour, it actually happened quickly. What you've been seeing on this little series that we've been doing over the last several months, this is really the progress you make on these projects. You can still, you can see we still have a damaged transmission tunnel. We still haven't dealt with all the fiberglass here that actually attaches back here. Like you can see that spear that comes back. We're missing the piece here. So what happens in the TV show in minutes, in real life, is obviously hours and hours and hours of work. But I'm pretty excited because so far you can see our door is pretty much closed, and I know it looks ugly on camera, but you see? Oh, damn it. Hang on. I didn't mean to do that. I certainly... Okay, there we go. All right. So here's the beautiful thing. See how the shadow on this door matches perfectly with the shadow of the B-pillar? And you see here how this chopped up door here, where actually my finger's in the center of the shadow. So our lines along our door are actually coming along quite beautifully at this point. I know it still looks like the south end of a northbound dog at the moment, but would you agree that it's come a long way?
It's come a long way in an hour and a half.
Yeah. So we're making really good progress, and this is that perfect example of, man, you gotta break some eggs to make an omelet, and in this case, we're obviously chopping the hell out of everything, but the lines are starting to draw in and get where you need. So hang on, we'll just check in with Davey since we're here. But you're fairly happy so far, right?
Oh, for sure.
Okay, very good. Again, these guys, they're not men of many words. Now here's David. Hang on. So here's what he's doing. He's trying to save. Let me get the camera in on this, Davey. So what we've got here this is actually what's called a floating nut plate, and it's floating, as you can see, it moves. And what that does is this gives you your door adjustment. Well, what David's got to do is cut this plate, these two sections of the plate, away from this plate. So he's got to find where the welds are, and then actually I want him to save the bottom plate and sacrifice the top plate to do it. So he's got his work cut out. Now here's the good news, Davey. You realize that you can split it there first, right?
Yep.
So we can split this plate here between these two, and then once that's split, splitting this, you know, this third plate. So plate 1, plate 2, plate 3. We got to split them one at a time. And quit screwing off. Why aren't you working?
Saturday.
All right. So we're back to work, and I'll be back with you guys in about an hour or so, because we've got to do some fiberglass work. We've got a small fit issue on the back of the door with the bird cage, but I think we're actually getting fairly close here to where a door is going to actually close and look like a door on a 63 split window Corvette, which is the coolest car in the world.
Sure.
All right, so John, Nicholas, is that Copernicus? I'm assuming Greek. We got Glenn, we got Ruben, we got all sorts of people signed in. So hey, stay with us, and we'll be back with you guys in about another hour to look at door fit, take like 12 or something. All right, so we went and had lunch. Yep. We scarfed down some Taco Bell, because, it's health food, right? All right, so just wanted to give you an update on where we were with the 63. We call this the CVT, which is the convertible transformation into a coupe with electronic manual fuel injection, because we're going to take our electronic fuel injection and integrate it into the manual fuel injection. And if anybody says that it's been done before, show me. Don't tell me, because people say, oh, that's been done before, and I've done hours and hours of research and cannot find a single example of it anywhere in the world. So let me sort of bring you up to date with where we are. So at this point, when you close this door, I mean, yes, I know we've got a little bit of a gap there, but we can easily close in the gap. So the gaps here, you can see we're starting to get almost car-like gaps, and we've got a door here that is actually closing and opening. I mean, what? Just check this out. This is night and day from where we started this morning. Go ahead and close that door. So you can see the front side of the door is actually looking pretty good. Obviously, we still have an issue back here. We have a little bit of manipulation to do, monster-ass size gaps, and we'll take care of all of that. And folks, on a fiberglass car, a large gap is actually not that hard to deal with. So it's the bigger problem on a Corvette is what's called reveal. You want the opening between the panels is not actually the problem. It's the height difference between the two. Now, we've been working on getting this. Heath just trimmed this up. By the way, this is the door that Davey was working on, and what do you think? We now have a floating nut plate that is put back into the door. Very cool. Thank you, Dave. Forget that. Just can't shut him up. All right, so go ahead and close this door, Heath. And you can see now already on the front door, we've got a reasonable gap. Now you should have just about a skinny finger up here, and that's what we've got. Now you can see we've got a little bit of an issue here. Once again, our roof is standing proud of the door by about 1/4 of an inch. So we've got to basically take this entire structure and push it further down into the car. But take a look at where we are already with the back. The door doesn't close fully because we've got to trim some parts here, but you can see that we already have a door that fits about 1,000 times better than anything we had recently. Now this is a 65 door, and the way you can tell it's a 65 is two things. It had the fiberglass here, which you can see Heath has just cut out, but the other thing is the door is flat here. It doesn't have the prominences, and the prominences that we're talking about, here, I'll take you over here just to sort of refresh you. I think my flashlight's still in there. So we have to take the prominences that you see, this thing that stands off the door here and here, and we're going to have to transpose these into this car and onto this door. So right now we're pretty excited because the back of the door is coming fairly close to fitting, and we've got to rip the entire system apart again so that we can drive this part of the roof down 1/4 of an inch. But at that point, what do you think? We're sort of on our way home at that point?
We're talking about bonding the roof?
No.
Next week.
Next week. Yeah, exactly. So we still have to make a new fender. You can see here that somebody in the 70s did what they thought was a real cool thing to do to a 63 Corvette, and they put this flare on it. So we've got to redo all that structure. But I think possibly next weekend, you're going to see a car that's maybe even glued together and looking a whole lot more like a straight 63. So, you know, for me, I mean, it's warm in here, but I got to tell you, little bit hard on the old nips. Things are working really well, and it's very exciting. No, seriously, is this not exciting?
It is. It really is.
I mean, how many people do you know get to take an absolute piece of crap and turn it into what's going to be one of the most beautiful cars in the world?
Not very many.
Yeah. So very cool thing to do. All right. So I'm just going to say hi to a couple folks out there. Roger Bear, Craig Bresley, Joe Peluso, and Tammy Guarino. Hey, I'm sorry if I slaughter your names. Tammy, I'm doing my best. I'm assuming I think it's Guarino. And Larry, Brian, folks, stay in touch. In another hour, we'll have the roof off, and we'll be redoing all that structure on the passenger side B pillar or A pillar, and then the thing is that this thing is rapidly becoming a badass 63 Corvette. We'll be back. Go vertical. I want the cut coming in vertically and stopping there.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, if you missed it?
So you want your blade running like this. Now keep moving the body. Yep. So it's loud in here. You're probably hitting the very edge of the windshield frame.
Need more air.
Huh?
Need more air.
Okay. Try starting your cut, and I would run this cut from the top. I guess either way, top or bottom. No. I want that piece on there. So start. Hey Mike, yeah, this car is actually rocking at this point. It's getting that basic structure that's always the toughest thing, and once this structure is all intact, then we'll actually be able to move out smartly with the rest of the glass and the bodywork. Obviously there is a steel structure in behind that, and what we're trying to do is just barely miss the steel structure, but cut away. Well, you got to cut all the way through.
I need more torque for the air.
All right. So I just wanted to show you one of the cuts that's going on, and David's about to start doing this. This is a roof or a floor repair. This is the toolbox for the car, and you can see that's in pretty rough shape. And unfortunately, more than likely, at some point, the transmission got hit badly on the car and ripped it out. So we've got all those structural repairs to make. So Davey's going to work on the floor repairs as Heath continues to work with me on getting the roof fit. But we're getting very, very close. So we'll be back in just a little bit. Okay, so we will only have one more live today. We're sort of taking a break from the top for a minute, and Heath is reconstructing the smashed out transmission tunnel where it actually looks like this car probably hit something hard enough that it ripped the transmission right out of the car and took all of the support structure with it. So you can see that there's a frame. All right, I think Audrey, you're on here. Welcome. So you can see Heath is got a form made out of fiberglass tape and wax paper, and using that to put the transmission tunnel together. David is working on what appears to be another rack in the car. There was a huge hole here going into the basically the spare tire, or the spare tire jack well, and so David's fixing that. David, any comments? Anything you want to say?
Not much.
David, say something.
Let's go on.
All right. You know what it takes to make this guy smile? What does it take to make you smile, David?
Money.
Money? No. Not even money makes you smile.
Burrito, Taco Bell.
Calling him a... Should I call him that? There's only one word you can call this guy to make him smile, and it's sort of a bad word. So, all right. So here's what I need. I need an opinion on something. It's never been done, and it's lined out here. This 63 Corvette, as you all know, this is not an original coupe. It was an original convertible. Hello, Deborah Ann. Hang on. Monofusco Thornton. Come on Dave Talk. I don't know what that means. I'm assuming that Dave Talk is a radio show. Give me a call, Deborah, and we'll certainly chat about it. But I need an opinion from you folks. The C1 Corvettes, the 61s and 62s, had this very same tail end on them, obviously not the Stinger, and they had a trunk in them. That the C1 Corvettes had a usable trunk space, and in the C2s, that trunk space was taken up by the fuel tank, which was moved all the way to the back of the car. So here's the question. Should we take this fuel tank and drop it underneath the frame, and then put a floor that would run all the way from about here over, all the way across, and to here, and have storage so that this car could actually be used on a road trip? So what that would do would be to give this the only C2 in the world with a trunk. Now, my understanding is Bill Mitchell was given the choice, because he went to the GM executives and said the C2 should have a trunk, and it also needed a racing fuel tank. And the GM executive said, you've got the money for one. You can either have a big racing tank or you can have a trunk. And he chose the racing fuel tank, even though he also wanted a trunk. So my thought is this. If Bill Mitchell wanted it, it was probably the right idea. And they just didn't have the funding at GM to do both. But since this is actually a convertible 63 Fuelie, and we're converting a convertible into a full-time coupe, why don't we convert it into the car that Bill Mitchell really wanted, which was a 63 split window with a trunk. It's actually what the man who designed the car wanted. And so I'm putting that question out to you guys. And please respond through our Facebook page. I don't know how to get to it, but between my wife and Audrey, they will look at all that stuff and let me know what you think. But I think it would be cool. I know we can do it. We can make it waterproof. We can make it sexy. What I want to know is from you guys, should we do it or should we not? So there's the outline. I think the advantage of a trunk on a C2 would be, see, where Davey is sitting right now, if you're on a trip and you need to get something from inside the car, you got to open the doors, fold the seats, and you got to be a contortionist to get in there. Hey, Eli Rosario, how's it going? So I think if we actually put a trunk lid up here, and you could lift the trunk lid, you could actually reach into this area. And so, like, if I wanted to harass David right now, I could do it through the trunk lid. And David, you'd have a place to come out of. So, all right, so Norman Smith, I guess if you're going to custom make a trunk, would be a cool touch. But if it was a concourse car, then all original. Absolutely. And look, let me show you an all original 340 horse. Went back to the original. These are actually original C3 or C2 1963 correct Kelsey Hayes wheels. Gone back to the original color scheme of the car. Everything about this car will be 100% original, right down to the water pump and the exhaust manifolds on the car. So when I've got an original car that needs to stay original, folks, I do it. But this is a one-off. This will be the world's only manual fuel-injected, electronic fuel-injected, convertible, modified coupe Corvette. So since we're already doing a custom, I think the trunk needs to go in. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to sign off for a moment, and we will be back to you when we've got the top fitted and hopefully the doors closing much better with these floors sort of put together. And at that point, you know, I will go on Facebook, look at your responses, and see if the trunk is the right thing to do. But from my perspective, I think it would be just the coolest touch. And obviously, if we're going to do it, we're going to make it look beautiful, like GM did it right from the factory. It will be beautiful, it'll be functional, and it'll create a ton of really well-needed storage space and a C2 Corvette that will be ready to go hit Route 66 and have a blast. All right, so Craig, Rob, Deborah, Jeff, Steve, guys, thanks so much for signing in. We'll be back in about an hour and a half with our closing sequence for the day. Thank you so much for signing in and saying hi. And hey, Gregory, a trunk most definitely. Love the comment. Obviously, I think it needs a trunk, but if enough people hate it, I'll say no. But I got to tell you, I think it's a great idea. So, folks, we'll be back with you shortly. All right, so it's been a good Saturday, and you know when it's a good Saturday? How can you tell, Heath?
Dave cracks and smiles.
Well, but what else can you do on a good Saturday?
You get a lot of work done. I think it's better to show than to
Yeah. So go ahead. Hang on, David. Open it back up. You have to do it on camera. All right. Close the door. Look at that. We actually have, at the end of the day, and yes, I know the gaps aren't perfect yet. That wasn't the intent, but the reveal is nearly perfect. If you look down this door, you will see that the door and the roof of the car are almost exactly at the same height. And our reveal all the way around the car is actually just about what we wanted. Again, here our gap is large, but the reveal is what we were looking for. I mean, any idea how far that was from how we started this day? I mean, look at this. You can actually open and latch close the doors. Now, what did this mean to you?
Sorry. It meant everything to me. That was exactly what we were going for. I spent last Saturday kind of scratching my head, and this Saturday we got a lot of shit done. So, thank you.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, it was an excellent day. Davey, do you feel pretty good about it? Yeah. This was. Open that door again. Hey, Nicholas, good to see you. Yeah, it was a great day. Look at that. That door that 8 hours ago was over an inch. And I mean, an inch in the car world is like about 5 miles. So we actually managed to turn a 1963 pile of crap into a 1963 Corvette. Now, Wayne, would you like to show us what you've been doing? Really? Let's go. All right. So, all right, Peter Clowen. All right, we're going to follow Wayne in here because, well, we've been screwing off with a 63 Corvette, kind of one-off custom project. Wayne has been working on something that we're bringing to SEMA here. So since it's in progress, we can show you. But this is the one-off. There is the mold for the rear bumper. You can see the bumpers off the car. The custom fenders are done. He is building the framework for the mold for the front of the car. Now you know that they have to be at the same, bring it up to the same level, right?
Yeah, I can put legs on there.
Okay. So the car, it seems to be sitting abnormally high. I'm assuming it's up. How elevated is this car right now?
Maybe 2 inches.
Looks a heck of a lot more than that. Okay, so you can see here what we've got is a very custom one-off supercar that we're building. I mean, just this car is so badass. The lines on it are nothing less than amazing. All right, so Wayne, good job. Your car's dusty and dirty. Clean up, Piggy. Yeah. All right, so we're getting out of here, folks. My wife is here. She has said it is time to go to Costco. So I got to tell you, this has been one of those Saturdays that I will not forget for a long time. Thanks for joining us. I know we bothered you a lot, but turning what we started with into that in one day has been just a hell of a lot of fun. And hello from Sarasota. Hey, how's it going down there? Don Parker, appreciate it. Yeah, stay with us because this car is just going to keep getting cooler every single week that we work on it. Leonardo, let's see, hang on. Leonardo Pablo de Canaja. Where are you from? Are you local, or are you? Because we have lots and lots of folks following us from the south. So, all right. Well, my wife is going to get upset if I hang out here any longer.
Floors.
What's that? Oh, floors. That's right, floors. Now they're not cut in, but here, shine your light back there. Actually, it's better without the light. So there's there's the initial part of the repair, all glassed in, and there's the initial part of that repair. Once the glass hardens, we'll pull the forms out from the back, we'll cut all the holes in correctly, and then we'll actually have a transmission shifter tunnel that looks like it came from GM back in 1963. So, guys, can't thank you enough. Great day. Bye.